Oh man.
Welcome to this episode of How to Crush No Limit Hold'em Games in United States Casino. I'm June. And a lot of people ask me how to deal with multi-way when you open and many callers behind, and it usually becomes a tough situation. And today's session we are facing a lot of pots like this. So I'm gonna share my thoughts and strategy with you, and let's go fishing. So today we're playing a 2-3-5 3 blinds game, and I bought in for $800. And the first hand is hijack player, open raise to 20 bucks. I got pocket nines on the bottom, and here I think call or 3-bet both make sense. And because this is my first very hand, so I choose to call. And small blind and big blind both calls. Flop comes 6-8-6 rainbow. Small blind donk $30, around 1/3 of the pot. And big blinds and hijack both calls. Action turns to me. Wow, so we started with a very difficult situation, and small blind leads out and both big blind and hijack calls. I think perhaps one of them has 6, but considering this is a relatively small size, probably they got a ace 8x kind of hand or some draws, so I decided to call. And turn comes a 2 of spade, a really good turn. And sadly, small blind continue bets 120, around half of the pot. And big blind and hijack calls again. Here I don't think my pocket nines is still good, so I decided to fold. And river comes an ace of spade and completes the battle flush. Small blind and big blind both check. Hijack player bets $200. And small blind fold and big blind calls with 6-10 suited. And hijack player shows ace at offsuit. Wow, so this is a very active first hand, so I think this will be a very interesting session with these very loose and active players. And the second hand we're gonna share is I got pocket tens under the gun and raised it to 25 bucks. And +1 middle position and small blind all calls. We're entering a 4-way pot. Flop comes queen deuce 3 rainbow. Small blind check to me. Here facing a 4-way pot, plus I think my opponent's more like a calling station type of player, so I choose to check. And the 2 players behind me check back, and turn comes 4 of spade. Small blind check to me again. Here I think I can start betting for value, targeting some backdoor flush draw or straight draw, and also protect my tens. And to my surprise, +1 and middle position all choose to call. And river comes a 5 of diamonds, and a really bad river because I think it's one card straight. And small blind leads out 200 bucks. And here I don't think he has any bluff ranges in a 4-way pot, so I choose to easy fold. And +1 player calls and shows 6-10 of spade. And small blind shows 6-7 offsuit, which is a nuts. Although we lose this pot, but we correctly folded this hand, and we realize that our opponents are playing very wide range pre-flop, so it's a very good information for us. And the next hand is under the gun player straddle. I got ace jack suited +1 and I raised it to 35 bucks. And not surprisingly, calls another 4 players, and all the cookies comes in the pot.
All the cool kids. All the cool kids. All the cool kids.
All the cool kids. Every pot is fun pot.
Every pot is fun.
And flop comes ace deuce 6 rainbow, a very good flop. It's really pretty dry. And check to us. I got a top pair and nice kicker, so I bet for $70. And big blinds and straddle all calls. Turn comes a queen of hearts, and check to us. Considering ace jack is relatively a weaker ace in my range under the gun, so I choose to check to protect my ranges. And another street value, I choose to bet on the river. And to my surprise, after I check, straddle player seems a little bit angry.
Oh man.
And turns out river comes a 9 of heart. And big blind bets 120. And which is a relatively small bet considering the pot is already 420. It's a smaller than 1/3 of the pot. I think opponent may think my turn check is kind of a weak play, so it's trying to attack my range, so I choose to easy call. And opponent says I win and shows 9-10 of spade. We successfully catch the bluff and win this pot. And the next hand is under the gun player straddle. I got ace queen offsuit on middle position and I raise it to 50 bucks. And the straddle whale player calls. The flop comes king 8-3 2 hearts. He checked to me. And this is a very typical board that favoring the pre-flop raiser and really dries. So I will bet my entire range with a small size. I bet 30 bucks, he chooses to call. We can see on the wizard this move is really similar to what he suggests us, because I think on the board we got an absolute range advantage. And turn comes a queen of spade. He checked to me again, and this is really interesting because my ace queen got some showdown value now. I think facing the opponent's wider range, I think we want to bet or check is both making sense. I choose to check, because I think this type of opponents likely to stab my river after my turn check. Here we can see on the wizard, overall there will be half check and half betting. We can see on the turn, and we will check like queen x or 10x, this kind of hand with some showdown value. And we're betting hands like ace 10, ace jack, this type of hands as our semi bluff. And we can also compare that if the turn is an ace, we can see because ace is favoring our range so much, so we're absolutely going to continue betting. And if the turn is a jack, it's really similar to if the turn is a queen. And on the other hand, if the turn is an 8, we're going to have to check a lot of hands. And if we're gonna bet, we're gonna choose some extremely good hands such as aces or kings, and we're going to make some bluff that blocks opponent's 8, such as 9-10 or ace 9 or ace 7, because it blocks opponents like 7-8 or 9-8, this kind of combos, and which is really interesting and good to know. Back to our hand, the river comes a 10 of spade. Opponent chooses to check again. Here I don't think opponent has many strong hands, although it's very thin. I still choose to bet for value, and I think the misdraw on the board also gives opponent some reason to call my bet. I choose to bet for 40 bucks and opponent chooses to snap call. After I show opponent muck, we successfully get our second street value on this hand. And the next hand is off player folds to cutoff player and he chooses to limp. I got queen 10 suited on the bottom. I raise it to 30 bucks. Turns out small blind and cutoff choose to call. We're entering a multi-way again. Flop counts 6-6-9. All player check to me. Here I think in the four-way pot we don't have backdoor flush draw. I don't think it's a good idea to bluff this spot, so I choose to check. And turn comes a 10 of clubs. Check to cutoff. He bets 60 bucks. I think opponent's rangers may still have some pair straight draw, such as 8-9 or 7-9, this kind of hand, which lose to me. I got the top pair, so I choose to call. Other player all folds. River comes a 7 of clubs. Opponent bets $100. Here I think it's a very tough decision to make because a board has one card straight and also complete the backdoor flush. And usually I don't think the live player bluff that much. So after a long tank, I finally decide to let it down. I don't know if any of you have any ideas. If you were me, would you call this river? And then before next hand started, all players on the table decided to make this game a straddle game. So it turns to a 2-3-5-10 game. And this hand started with hijack a whale player limped. I got pocket 8s on cutoff. I raised it to 60 bucks, and small blind, straddle, and hijack all choose to call. Flop comes queen 4-3 rainbow, all checks to me. Here I think I still can bet for a small bet to protect my pocket 8s. So I bet for 80 bucks, only hijack player calls. Turn comes a jack of clubs. He checked to me. Here I think I got some showdown value, so I choose to check. And river comes another jack of diamonds. He checked to me again. Here I don't think I have any reason to bluff here. I still win a lot of hands in his ranges, so I check. And he said he has a pair of 3, and we successfully took on this pot.
Small pair, I have a 3.
8. And the next hand is a very exciting hand. It's a 3-way all-in hand, and pre-flop action is start with 1 straddler and +1 in middle position or choose to call. I got 6-8 suited on low jack, I choose to call. And in total there are 7 player calls, and it's going to be a 7-way limp pot. And flop comes queen 6-9 2 hearts. Yes, we got a double-ended straight flush draw. And +1 bets for 35 bucks, middle position calls. And here we got many outs, so I raised it to 120. In this multi-way, I can represent many strong hands, and action turns to bottom player. He chooses to call my raise 120, and +1 player chooses to push all in for $400. Middle position folded, and it's my turn. Here is a very interesting scenario because I got around $1,000 behind, and the pot is already around $700. So at least I'm going to call this all in. And considering this bottom player who covers me only calls me the previous action, so I think his ranges will mostly have some top pair with weak kicker or like 10 jack, this kind of draw. So I choose to directly push all in to isolate it. I'm all in. And he tanked for a long time, and finally he chose to call. And we're gonna see the runouts. And the turn comes a 10 of diamonds. River comes a 9 of diamonds. I successfully hit a straight, and bottom player shows ace queen offsuit. +1 claims he has queen 7 2 pair. Anyway, I successfully chewed down this 2,500 huge pot. And the last hand I'm gonna share today is low jack player open raise to 25 bucks, high jack cutoffs, button and small blind all calls. I got queen 6 suited on the big blind. I choose to call. We're entering a 6-way pot. Flop comes 10, 9, 8 rainbow, small blind check. Here we don't have many reason to lead out this flop. I choose to check, and all player check. Turn comes a 7 of club. We complete the down straight, and we also got a backdoor flush draw. And small blind check. I decided to play a passive way and check back. Cutoff player bet 60 bucks. And I think I got a straight and backdoor flush. Facing this half-up bet, I choose to call, and other folds. In the river comes a 9 of hearts. I choose to check. Here, if he bets, I think I'm gonna fold because he bets 6-way on the turn. I don't think he got many bluff here, and very likely he chooses to check back. And after I show my cards, he shows 4-6 suited, and we chop the pot. Overall today we play a very sick game, and usually I open and 4 or 5 player calls after me, and then we went to a 6-way pot. So in this kind of situation we need to play very carefully and get our value. So overall today I bought in for $1,020 and $200 and cash out for $28.18. So it's about 1.6 buy-in win, because in the middle we turn into a straddle game. And this is a very great outcome, and we appreciate it. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.
That is your chance to be ruthless.